Hey, listen, Danny just dropped some heat on Danny from the Stop regarding Joe Buddens Podcast. I'm about to get right into the video. No intro, no nothing. So recently on the Patreon, Danny breaking down the Patreon. It's called Dancing Bear. They get into a debate, like they get into talking about a comedian. I don't know if y'all familiar with the comedian. He on the Brilliant Idiots. He was on Joe Rogan podcast. It's a comedian named Andrew Shultz, right? I'm familiar with the bull. Like, I don't listen to his comedy, but I'm familiar with the bull, right? So Joe kind of is speaking, and I'm gonna like try to wrap it up quick and sum it up quick so I could get to my perspective. Joe feel like Andrew do a lot of racy shit, but basically only coming at black people type shit. And he should kind of like handle us with kid gloves because he came in to stardom via Charlemagne, and that means he came in through the culture. You know what I mean? Which I kind of agree with type shit. Now, Andrew Schultz got real big once he got on the Joe Rogan podcast, but running around as fucking Charlemagne's lapdog is how we kind of known him for real type shit, right? So then, like, and I don't know how familiar all y'all are with Andrew Schultz, but he has said some racy shit, like derogatory comments towards black women. Not the most egregious shit, but his most egregious drawing was when he was like, he told Kendrick Lamar, like, oh, he would fuck him type shit. You know what I mean? It's a lot to get into that, because a lot of those dudes that fall under the comedian the comedian umbrella of Joe Rogan, a lot of them dudes do like MMA and do jujitsu, so they think they tough. So, of course, you know, all of them dick ride Joe Rogan, so they think because they do jujitsu and MMA, they tough. So Andrew Schultz, he do jujitsu. I don't know how much he do it, but he trains and shit. So he feeling himself. Kendrick Lamar, little nigga, he like, yo, I'll fuck you type shit. You know what I mean? So Joe look at it like, yo, that's a racial insensitive comment because that's on some buck breaking type shit. If you're not familiar with buck breaking, Google it. But I ain't take it that deep. I just looked at it as like Andrew like talking shit type shit. But like, I don't fuck with Andrew Schultz. I don't fuck with his opinions. I think he corny. I think listen, we about to cook now. Like, oh shit, got attacked by a motherfucking bee. God damn. All right, so you got Imani and you got Ice. So they like on some shit like, oh, it's just comedy type shit. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Anytime it comes to having strong opinions on something that's like of relevance, like that really has some meaning, like something like as a man you gotta stand by, yo, that nigga Ice is always a fucking coon, bro. Every time. But I don't expect him to be like that. But for a guy like Ice who has such strong opinions, to not have a backbone and stand up on nothing, it's just kind of fucking annoying. And he's never on the side of like black culture. He never on the side of black culture. Like, I have heard him kind of cock slide Andrew Schultz multiple times. And with Imani, like I said, I don't know what Imani is, but I don't really expect him to really have an understanding of how black people see shit. But I look at Andrew Schultz as a culture vulture. I just do, bro. Like, his claim to fame, like, yeah, he a comedian, but because he dealt with Charlemagne, like, he started getting like a fan base and shit like that. Now Joe Rogan blew him up. So yeah, has Andrew Schultz always been doing kind of like racy type material? Yeah, but as he gets bigger, yo, his race jokes, and I fucking like racist jokes. Racist jokes be funny sometimes, like when a comedian do it, right? But it's a way to do it. Be racist against all cultures, even your own culture, if you're gonna do it. Andrew Schultz got a bad tendency to focus on black culture when he does a show, Flagrant, where it got an Indian bull on there. Man, he a comedian too that I don't listen to. But it's like, yo, I never hear him joke about Indian people as much as black people. I never hear him talk about white people as much as he joke about black people. I never hear him talk about Jewish people as much as he talk about black people. And that nigga's Jewish, bro. And you got black comedians scared to make Jewish jokes, and then you got Jewish comedian always making black jokes. Yo, that shit is kind of fucking irritating, especially coming from a dude like Andrew Schultz, who, and for me, I got a lot of white friends, but it's real annoying when these black when these white dudes think they know black culture just as much, if not more, than black people. This shit fucking irritating, bro. So Amani and Ice, they kind of saying like, yeah, well, that's his style. But Joe, right, yo, he's a dick sucker. It is Andrew Schultz is a fucking dick sucker of the culture, bro. Like, every time you turn around, he got a black joke. Yo, go joke on your own culture. Yeah, that's a problem within black culture because we don't hold these people accountable. And I ain't talking about protesting. Listen, I'm not even telling niggas to get physical, but niggas like, let's say a Cat Williams or D.L. Hughley, yo, they need to get right at his neck and say, yo, you Hebrew, shut your fucking bitch ass up type shit. And it's like Mark Lamont Hill, like Danny from the stop was saying, Mark Lamont Hill and Joe Buddens and Melissa Ford, they was kind of like countering Ice and Imani, but it's just like, yo, Andrew Schultz is like a lame ass fucking dude. And like, I used to listen to Joe Rogan podcast heavy, especially like during the pandemic and shit. I don't have a problem with a person being a Republican and a Democrat, but as he got super far to the right and complaining, I couldn't fuck with the podcast like that. And then he started bringing on guests that I really don't fuck with and shit like that. You know what I mean? But like, it's just like Andrew Schultz, he wants to be on the right side, but feel like, oh, well, I'm familiar with this black culture, so I could bounce over there and talk about hip hop and talk about sports. But any chance I get with my people, I'm gonna throw them black people under the bus type shit with his comedy, bro. It's just corny. It don't even be like, if you listen to some of his black jokes, it ain't even funny. He'll be in a crowd, it's all white people, and he'll be like, yeah, so I met a guy named Malik. The crowd start giggling. The fuck are you doing, bro? This shit is fucking lame. I don't fuck with Andrew Schultz to a certain extent. I believe this is the issue black Americans have. We don't gatekeep our shit. We don't. We let everybody at our shit. Everybody get what they could get out of our culture, and then they leave and they shit on the culture, bro. It is what it is. Like, you got a lot of celebrities, they go to Africa and build shit. When an African ever came to America and tried to build up the inner city? Nigga, never. And in Hollywood, all you black Americans losing y'all jobs to fucking English black niggas, bro. These niggas switch up their voice like the nigga from fucking Police Academy. Just to sound like us. Just to speak like our lingo. Just to have our lingo. Just to have our style type shit. This should be crazy, bro. This should be absurd. And this is the problem I have, one of my glaring problems I have with the Joe Buddens podcast is like, on topics like this, it seems like people be trying to protect relationships. Yo, outside of the Joe Buddens podcast, you niggas ain't got shit shaking. You don't. And anything you got shaken outside of the podcast, you got because you on the fucking podcast. So give an actual opinion. And that, if that's your actual opinion, all right, stand on it. And then as fans of the JBP, we got to call them out, and we got to let Ian Schwartzman and Joe Buddens know through our comments, like, because they do read the comments and shit, and even making a video like I'm making a video. Let them niggas know, like, yo, I'm not fucking with this nigga on the pod. I'm not fucking with it. And like I said, I don't got hate for no group. I fuck with Jewish niggas. I got some Jewish homies type shit. But like, anytime you coming into a culture, taking from the culture, and the first chance you get, you always disrespecting the culture. I can't respect that. I don't respect Andrew Schultz as a man at all. I don't respect Ish as a man. I don't. Every time it's a topic like this, he don't stand on it. And he's known for being like a Twitter finger type bull. It is what it is. Like, shout outs to him. I'm not really a fan of him. Like I said, how he covers music, I fuck with that. But when it comes to opinions about black culture, what black people gonna have to learn, if not now, then never, yo, we gonna have to learn that we gotta fucking be on point with shit. And we gotta be willing to take it to any level anybody else gonna take it to, and the next level. You wanna protest? Protest. That's your right. But also be prepared to stand on shit and get physical. This ain't a call to violence. This is life. This is historical shit. Eventually, you got to stand on it. And with opinions like Ice and Imani, when shit hit the fan, what side they on? What side they on? They gonna be some niggas trying to go on the winning side. That's it. This ain't just Everfresh neither. That's a new flavor with the little Tito's vodka and the pineapple watermelon. Shit like that. But yeah, I don't like, I don't even know no niggas that really watch Andrew Schultz. I'm familiar with his comedy. I watched him at least maybe like 3 times on the Joe Rogan podcast. He is a smart dude. Like, he know a lot about different subjects and shit like that. But yeah, bro, like Joe Buddens had a point. He said, yo, he seen Andrew Schultz handle other cultures with kid gloves. Yo, he's talking about Indian niggas, bro. Because that Indian boy is on his show. And guess what? That Indian boy be having jokes about black culture too. And he be getting that shit off with Andrew Schultz. And at the end of the day, respectfully, yo, your ancestors wiped they fucking ass with their hands, bro. Don't speak on black Americans, bro. And that nigga Andrew Schultz, he, like, you could really go in on Indian niggas, bro. I know people that went to India. They said as soon as you get off the plane, it smell like shit, bro. That's not my opinion. That's a lot of people's opinion that been to India. You know what I'm saying? And they known, like, when I say, oh, they be wiping their ass with their hands after they take a shit, that's not no racial joke. I ain't no fucking comedian. That's factual shit, bro. You ever see them? You ever see on your algorithm? I don't like my algorithm. I'm a greedy nigga, so it be having food. You ever see the street vendors in fucking India, bro? And the niggas start whipping up the rice and the curry, and there's a billion flies in there, and they just put the little pile on the nigga plate, and the nigga eat this shit, bro. Scumbag activities type shit, bro. And y'all niggas want to always come at black Americans, bro. Man, I can't respect it. I don't have no respect for Andrew Schultz. I wish the podcast, like I said, Melissa did a good job. Lamont Hill did a good job. Joe Buddens did a good job. Imani and Ish did, Imani and Ice didn't do a fucking good job. And it's not, like, I could disagree with a person and they still get their opinion off and I can have an understanding of it. They didn't even do a good job. It's just that coonish, like, black people like, like, y'all know what I'm talking about. I can't really articulate what it is, but it's like a nigga that, like, when let's say, like, a white nigga making a racist joke, and a black nigga could stand on something. Instead, he's like, it's funny. But it's like he forcing himself to laugh. I feel like Imani and Ice was forcing themselves to take that stance so they could be indifferent and be like one of them freedom of speech warrior type niggas. Like, oh yeah, I believe in that. And like, oh yeah, comedians comedians gotta have a right to free speech. Yo, that shit with comedians is the most overrated shit of all time. And Joe Buddens said it, and it's a fact. A lot of these comedians use being a comedian to get some ignorant, hateful, racist shit off, bro. Real shit. I watched the interview with Cat Williams. Cat Williams had one of the best bars. A lot of people ain't hearing and shit. But he was like, yo, if you have to be offensive to be funny, you probably not that funny. Yo, that's a fact. You ever be chilling with your homies and y'all just joking? Y'all ain't on no hateful shit. Y'all just talking shit. Your shit mad funny. Like, you don't gotta be hateful and you don't gotta be malicious to get some funny shit off. This shit, like, I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to tell overall how many black people really fuck with Andrew Schultz, because, like, after the Joe Rogan podcast, that nigga wave got big. And then he even kind of stepped to fucking Charlamagne. I mean, granted, Charlamagne said some ignorant shit, but Charlamagne was trying to say he had more reach than Joe Rogan. And Andrew Schultz was like, no. And Andrew Schultz was right. Because the answer is no, Charlamagne. You don't got a bigger reach than Joe Rogan. But the way Andrew Schultz went about it was like ignorant and shit. And it's like, damn, this the nigga that puts you on type shit. And that's how you gonna bite that hand that feeds you? Now, granted, Charlamagne, does he have more of a cultural, like, all right, this gonna sound stupid because I don't even really fuck with Charlamagne like that. But like, Charlamagne has more of a cultural impact than Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan shit really, really popping off because he got a lot of right-wing supporters right now. Joe Rogan not all the way right-wing, and his opinion is subject to change. As soon as he starts to change his opinion enough, those supporters will leave, and he'll just be left with his fucking core fan base. But a lot of his core fan base of people like me, I wasn't early on because his podcast has been out for a long time. But I've been on that drone for like 7 years listening to Joe Rogan podcast. A lot of us, he done turned off his core fan base with the ignorant shit, bro. And I was waiting with the COVID shit. Like, he was spot on with that shit. But once he got too far right and always pointing out shit with the left, I was just like, the nigga's biased media type shit. So Andrew Schultz is hard to get. And like, you just gotta be realistic with the demographics in America. Is way more white people than black people. So Andrew Schultz, they say he could sell out the guard. He could do this racy material and he gonna always sell because it's, let's say America is 65% fucking white, right? At least 35% of white people gonna want to hear some ignorant racist shit. So he gonna always have that fan base. And guess what? Black people not even close to 30% of the population. We damn near 50. We barely even 15% of the population in America. So he not worried about selling it to us. As long as he could get that uber right wing fan base, it don't fucking matter. So, but he already, like, it's like, it's always cool to be a nigga, but not a nigga. So he gonna always wanna speak on black culture because that shit is fun and that shit is popping. Like, you know what I mean? Niggas, we get shit shaking. So he gonna always try to come back. But that's Charlamagne the God fault. And a lot of y'all niggas put that nigga in a position that he don't deserve to be in. Cause that nigga's corny, bro. I don't care about the Black Effect Network, none of that. That nigga, a lot of his opinions, and that nigga is uber liberal. Like, uber liberal. Like, when Joe Biden said, you ain't black if you ain't vote Democrat, that nigga Charlamagne didn't get at him like you want to say, like, bro, who is you to speak? Like, he didn't get in his bag like he should have got in his bag. It's like sometimes you catch Charlamagne the God try to play the fence when it comes to politics. I'm not saying everything on the left is right, everything on the right is right. There is a middle, and there is such thing as being a centrist. But when I say play the fence, it means you don't really got you don't got like a true foundation on any one opinion. You know what I mean? Like, if they ask me, yo, should transgender men be playing in women's sports? Yo, the answer is no. Do I believe we should have some type of immigration policy? The answer is yes. A nigga on it now, that don't mean I'm left or right. That's just my stances on that. A nigga on the fence gonna cater to his public. Like, he gonna cater to the public or to his fans or to wherever he feel the majority is. So a lot of times I feel like that's what Charlamagne the God do. He a fence-sitting ass nigga, bro. Danny didn't want to repeat the word, but I think Joe Buddens might have even called Ice a coon. But Ice is a coon type shit. He just is. Like, you could be a fan of Andrew Schultz, and you could be a fan of whoever you want, and you could still hold them accountable. Like, I listened to enough Andrew Schultz to know he always coming at black people and gay people. But he don't really come at nobody else, bro. And anytime, it's funny because anytime a black comedian or a black entertainer in general starts speaking on Jews, you see how they be getting canceled? You see how they be getting cooked? You see how they get fried? I'm not saying I agree with Kanye. Some of the shit he say is cool. A lot of the shit he do is fucking foolish. You see how quick they was canceling that boy? This is before the Hitler shit and the swastika shit. They been was trying to get that boy out of here, bro. Niggas got to be careful, bro. You got to be careful with niggas like Imani and fucking Ice, because they can articulate a point, but it's bullshit. Actually, them niggas didn't do a good job articulating their point. Like, if I'm picking up with Danny putting down, them niggas just sound like they just was on some, like, oh, he a comedian, you gotta let comedians. And I don't believe in that, oh, just because they a comedian, they could say wherever the fuck they want type shit. Like, no, you could be a comedian and be sharp and not have to violate niggas. And if you want to violate niggas, yo, leave a little breathing room for everybody else. Don't just come at black. Like, I forget Andrew Schultz about black women, but it's just like, yo, bro, can you imagine if Dave Chappelle was like, yeah, I be fucking with these Jewish drones, feeding them pastrami and rye bread? Them niggas go crazy. Dave Chappelle be fucking fried, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's the end of my video. As y'all can see, I don't fuck with Andrew Schultz at all. I think he's a goof. I think he is one of those comedians that purposely picks at black culture because, you know, as a culture, because I'm black, we always seem to have an emotional outburst and shit like that. It ain't nothing wrong. I mean, to a certain extent, you want to be a little bit more stoic, but it's just like, it's getting so redundant that Andrew Schultz, we don't even expect anything else but that from him. And I don't know how many black niggas really fuck with the brilliant idiots. And if you fuck with the brilliant idiots, you probably should have been stopped fucking with that shit. Flagrant. Brilliant idiots and flagrant. Because flagrant, they got like an Indian boy, they got this white boy that look like Cactus Jack from wrestling, and then they got this black boy, and the black boy corny as shit. I have never seen this nigga really speak up and stand on business. Like, I seen him kind of getting in a debate with Andrew Shultz, and then Andrew Shultz loud talk him, and then he kind of shut shit down because he worked for the bull. I don't know, these niggas be falling in front of these kids. I don't want to say the word, but it is what it is. I'm saying my last video didn't do too good. Hopefully this one pick up. But y'all enjoy this weather. I'm gonna holla at y'all.